Hello and welcome. I need to rebuild my wall here. I took 7 PCs out of this wall and brought them to VCF and managed to give away or sell 6 of them. Well, I brought back 8, but hey, we can rebuild the wall once I go through, test, fix, and clean them. And today, we are going to start with this mystery IBM Think Center. I bought this for $10 and I know nothing about it. I know it's got a Pentium 4 sticker on it, and I believe we looked into it and found it has no RAM. Other than that, I know nothing. So, let's just dive right in and pop it open. It actually, never mind, it's a little dirty. We have our dollar store Law's Totally Awesome cleaner. Works great, actually. This stuff is very stinky, but damn, does it just works really, really well. I mean, look at that. Barely even had to do anything, and we've already got a good portion of the junk off of this thing. Now I'm a little more willing to touch it. So that does help. Ooh, this side's got a dent in it. That's always fun. For the moment, I'm only concerned about the sides and the top. I'm not really going to be touching the front very much, so we can clean that in a bit. Yeah, nice and gross. So, let's pop this open. That is a nice action. A lot of times these tend to get stuck and they don't want to come open. That was good. That's reasonably clean. We can set that off to the side. Now we have, I believe I see the telltale edge of socket 775. We have a lot of dirt and dust in here. Wow, you know what? Let's get you a little closer. Look at that. We've got, this is the power supply. This must be some sort of intake. Do we have, oh, that's pretty gross. What is that? I need this cleaner again already. Ooh. I'm not going to just spray it inside, though. Not sure what that is. But now it's gone. Ugh. So we don't have any storage. We have an IDE optical drive and a SATA optical drive. Let's just see if this... Okay, that's not going to just come off, will it? But you know what? We can clean some of the dust off of it while we're here. Oh boy. So, what used to be in here? You know, this looks very similar to this, which I brought along. I wonder if I pulled this. I wonder if I pulled this out of an IBM. I don't know. Everything in here is just real gross. So I think what we need to do is blow this out. As it is almost midnight. Oh, we do have RAM. But since it's almost midnight, there isn't a whole lot I can do outside. So we have no choice but to do this right here in my studio. Cue instant regret. Alright, I need to open the door. Holy crap. Whew. I need a fan or something. That was a huge mistake. Okay. Whew. Well, it's clean now. I really should be completely disassembling this thing after that. Oh, I really don't want to, but I think I have to. Okay. Okay. The good news is I don't see any bad capacitors. That is huge. Let's see if I can... Oh boy, I really... You know what? This actually doesn't look too bad after that cleaning. Oh, the power supply still needs some dusting. Oh god, here we go. Whew. Says it doesn't look so bad, and then immediately gets 10,000 more dust bunnies out of it. Oh my god. Look at these. Well, it's a SATA system, which does let me know which hard drive I'm going to use. I grabbed two of them. I got a 40 gig Western Digital and a 250 gig Hitachi Desk Star from 2004. Believe it or not, this Desk Star actually still works perfectly fine, despite having over 100,000 hours on it. Now, I do want to repaste that CPU at the bare minimum. I'm currently looking around to see where the hell I put my thermal paste. There it is. It's right next to me. So, how do I open this? How do I get that off? This looks like it lifts up somehow. That pulls. Is this separate? That is separate. There's some tape here. Don't care about that. How does that come off? Oh no. Oh. This is rapidly approaching the dirtiest PC I've ever worked on. Holy crap. Kind of want to get this out now. But I don't know how to remove that without breaking it. It looks like it just comes up. I think it's just stuck. I've got to be missing something. No, it just comes up. It's just stuck. Well, let's at least get this out of here. Wow. That's pretty bad. We'll try our Laws Totally Awesome on this. Just to, yeah, that's not doing anything. It is getting the dust off. These fins are real fragile. Okay. I don't know what kind of paste that is, but it's awful. We'll let that stew for a second. Meanwhile, let's see what the subject of today's massacre is. That's not coming off at all. Wow. I need a scraper or something. Jesus. I'm going to guess this is a Pentium 4. Not like a Pentium D. Nothing like that. I mean, the sticker says Pentium. Close. See if any of this will come off now. Nope. Well, I got that more or less cleaned off. And the CPU also more or less. Now, what's our speed? What CPU do we have? Surveys. Oh, for fuck's sake. Survey says that is a Pentium 4 3.2 gigahertz, 1 meg of cache, 800 megahertz frontside bus with the original IBM asset tag still on it. That is not bad. I don't think this system's Core 2 Duo compatible, but that's okay. Put that right back in. Get some new thermal paste on it. And we will see what this machine can do. While I've got the cooler out, actually, is this DDR1 or 2? That's DDR1, 512 megs. So this looks like it's going to be 2 gig. 512. These are a different channel. So they could be different. 512. They are different, but they are also 512. So we got 2 gigs of RAM. That is honestly kind of impressive. Not a lot of PCs shipped with that for DDR. So this must be a very early Pentium 4. So I'm thinking that this is a very early Socket 775 system because it uses DDR and not DDR2. Huh. IBM.com. Let's throw this back in here. Get that locked in place. There's not a lot of mounting pressure on that, I notice. We're not going to pull this. I just don't care enough. It should just come right up. But this plastic could be pretty brittle, and I don't feel like testing its malleability. Good enough, I think. Yeah. I'm amazed that none of the capacitors look bad. Other than the missing hard drive, which... Do we need a sled? It looks like we do need a sled. Oh, no. Oh, that sucks. If I pull this all the way out, can I install the hard drive in here above the floppy drive? That would be fantastic. Oh, the floppy cable actually has a SATA power right on top of it, so they looks like they might have anticipated people doing that. Let's get that in there. Get our floppy connected again. There's a rather unique looking floppy drive. You know what? I know what to do. We will use the... Oh, what's this? Hold on. I was going to use these new screws that someone sent in. What is this? USB-C to USB-A. You know what? That appears to only be USB 2.0, but that is still very, very useful. I appreciate you. So let's go ahead, pop these open, and use these for the first time. Screwdriver, here it is. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of wild parts in here that are going to be super useful. Thank you so much. Let's grab a few of these. I think I'm going to need 2 right now. Looks like the person that sent this might have added some extra screws into there. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. Right there. Perfect. Now this whole cage does come out, and I really should just take it out so I can secure the other half of this hard drive, but the truth is I'm afraid of what's going to be found behind it. So I'd... you know what? Nah. Don't want to. Okay. So since we're not using this, let's just get this back in place. Okay. Now, SATA power, conveniently right there. I need a SATA cable. I will not be needing this IDE cable, so I can move that out of the way. And here we go. This is a perfect 90-degree cable, I think. Yeah, that will work. Now let's go ahead and get this installed in SATA 1. I hope my hat wasn't in the way there, but it probably was. Oh. Huh. Let's risk it. Wait, no. We do have onboard graphics. It was covered up by this. This machine had a mystery graphics card inside it, I believe, when we first got it. Where is that card? It should be right around here somewhere. This is the one. Yeah. Yay for BTX. Dropping dust all over. I'm going to have to blow this off now. Where's that duster? It never ends. But let's see if this works. Somebody researched this for me. I do not remember what it was, but someone did find out what it was. So let's get that closed up. Wow. Whew. I guess I don't need this. This is my box of RAM. Although maybe we could upgrade this machine if it plays nice. I could see this deserving a couple extra gigs. So, first things first, I just want to see if it functions. So we're going to go ahead and back up the camera and see if we get it to boot. Or rather, post. First, fire test. Well, the lights... Oh! Well, the lights... Oh! Great! Well, that wasn't expected. Let's go ahead and move the camera. I mean, it's beeping already, so it's probably not going to display out. I wasn't expecting it to just turn on. I mean, it's powered up, but I don't know. Got any gifts? Not in that one. Not in that one. Let's power cycle it, see what happens. This could be as simple as just replacing the CMOS battery, but next, if we can't get it to post, we're going to remove this graphics card here. I'm still looking at dust bunnies. This is one of the dirtiest PCs I have ever seen. Also, what does this go to? I need a keyboard. That's what I need. Oh. It's covered in dust. I wonder why. I know I said we were going to immediately try replacing the graphics card, but let's get this out of the way. It could be doing memory training, which could explain the lengthy time before it even shows up on the screen. So let's just... No, we are not posting. Okay. I've pulled power. Man, this thing stinks. It smells like animal pee. That's great. Let's try onboard graphics. Since it's powering up the moment I plug it in, it probably has a bad CMOS battery. I mean, that's... Okay, let's get a CMOS battery. Is this even the right? It is. Well, I had some in a package, but I can't seem to find them right now, so we're just going to go ahead and... How does this come out? It's a stupid design. I've just robbed one from a nearby motherboard. I don't even know if this one's good, but it's probably better. So, will this allow us to post? Next, we will be checking the RAM. because that could also stop us from posting. Let's try the RAM. First, let's just pull. So this is Lenovo stuff. God, there's even more dust bunnies. Let's do it with just DIMMs 1 and 2 occupied. I believe in this system, the channels are separated by color, so this is a single channel. Hey, okay. Nice. Where's my keyboard? Interrupt setup, press enter. Very cool. Unauthorized CMOS change detected. That is hilarious. System, okay. 1 gig of RAM. Yeah, this all looks good. Let's do a test. Now that we've pulled this other RAM, let's just put it back in. Sometimes just reseating it is all that is needed, if you put it in the correct way. See what happens. With any luck, that'll be all that this thing needed, was a new CMOS battery and the RAM reseated. Okay, now let's try with this mystery graphics card. Let's see what happens. And would you look at that? We're good to go. I need to find a cable. Let's get Windows XP installed. All right, what we are doing here is we are just saving the changes on the BIOS, setting my IOD to Windows XP. Now this should show up as a virtual CD-ROM drive, and the reason we saved the BIOS settings was just to stop it from yelling at me. Pointing device error. It wants a mouse. I suppose we should give it a mouse. Funny that it would have a stop error on that. Mouse acquired. What is... I need to get back into the BIOS. Make sure it can boot from external CDs. Unless I can just tell it to one time only. It might be F12. Let's try that. It is F12, okay. It doesn't see the IOD. Maybe it's because I didn't have a ISO loaded. Let's see here. This isn't as early as I thought. Why is it using DDR? What? Where are my boot options? Startup sequence. Oh, there we go. This needs to be added. Select item, change values. There we go. Yeah. Save and exit. That should do it. F12. Perfect. Now we should have the Windows XP installer. Perfect. Okay, let's run through this real quick. And with any luck, the next time that you see me will be on the desktop. Well, shoot. That's not expected. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe this is one of those weird systems that just doesn't work with SATA hard drives. Let's try IDE. We brought that drive down after all. 40 gigs is rough though. Before I actually remove that one, let's see. I'm going to have to run this as a slave drive, I think, because there is not a second IDE channel on this board. Okay. Unless we just get rid of our IDE optical drive. We have a SATA one, so let's get that out of here. And just for testing, we're going to go ahead and leave it just sitting here. Now we need a Molex. Here we go. Now let's see if that works. No supported partition. You're kidding me. The iod broke? It fell 4 inches and broke. Well, that is unfortunate. Number 1, the iod's dead. I'm going to try to repartition the drive, or the SSD's dead, one of those two. See what we can do. Number 2, I found out that this IDE drive doesn't spin up when power's applied, so something's wrong with this one. So I've got to grab another one of these. Number 3, if I can't get this to work, I'm going to have to go back to CDs, and I don't know where any of my CDs are. I kind of put them all away once I had the iod up and running. So I might have to burn a CD. Either way, I'll be back. Okay, we have returned, and I have news. The iod is fine. I'm just stupid. So, I forgot one of the critical things about this is when you install something, the iod itself shows up as an installable hard drive. And yeah, I wiped it with the Windows XP installer, so that was me. That was my fault. Brought down a whole bunch of CDs of 100% legal nature, including I accidentally grabbed my copy of Windows 10 on CD. I think we're just going to ignore the iod for now and see if maybe we can get this SATA drive to work with a... Where did I put that SATA cable? Where did I put that SATA cable? Ooh, I'll lose it? Here it is. That's not the SATA cable. Here it is. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get this one to work. If we can't get it to work, I have brought down a whole bunch of other ones. I brought down this random 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue that I found lying around. I grabbed a 120 gig IDE Western Digital. Did I grab only Western Digitals? Oh my god, I did. Grabbed another 120 gig IDE Western Digital that's slightly older. And then I grabbed this, what I think to be a 60 gigabyte Western Digital that came out of a TiVo, I think. I mean, a drive is a drive. Now, let's grab Windows XP Service Pack 3. Wow, this is a dirty disk. We need to re-enable this because I did a lot of weird stuff in the BIOS. This can probably go back down. Well, no, maybe... Let's try it. Maybe I didn't disable it. Oh, rock on. We are good to go. Okay. Now, with any luck, I'll see you on the desktop. Yeah, since this is loading from CD and not from our iOD, I suppose I could take this time to actually clean the front a little bit. It's not exactly squeaky clean after all. Ugh. I can take this off. I think this is someone else's certificate of... Oh, that's just gonna... Damn it. Great. I hate when people do that. This. It's just gonna tear. Man. This will come off, I think. Yes. That's good. Man, we'll figure it out. Alright, let's get to the desktop. Okay, well, I'm going to have to pause my sticker removing adventure because Windows can't see any hard drives. That is very odd. You know what? Hold on a second. Is this even supplying power? Yes. What is going on here? Alright. That one seems to actually work. So let's power cycle real quick. That's that's going to be a loud drive. But maybe, just maybe, we can actually see it. I think the problem that we're running into is this system is just weird. I mean, we've got socket 775 with DDR1. So I just... Maybe this machine is one of those really weird early ones that has SATA but can't use SATA hard drives. I've run into this with VIA chipsets, but this is an Intel chipset. So I'm not really sure what to think about that. I mean, it also has PCI Express. So this is such a strange machine. So I don't know. Surely this had a SATA hard drive in it before. I can try a different SATA hard drive, but I mean, that hard drive's from 2004. It should be compatible with this system. What I might do is I might get Windows installed on here and then try that Western Digital Blue anyway. This all, of course, presupposes that Windows can see this hard drive. What a wild system. Let's find out. Well, Windows sees this disk, so we're going to go ahead and just get Windows installed. It will take a hot minute. I'm going to do this off camera, and after this is done, we'll try again with that Western Digital Blue. Who knows? Maybe it is genuinely a problem with that Hitachi Desk Star. It's not like they're known for failing. Well, that is one down. Now let's just disconnect this. We'll shut the system down. I'll go ahead and grab that Western Digital. Well, I guess that doesn't tell us anything. They're all Western Digital. And whatever I did with that SATA cable, here's one. Same thing, we'll just set it here. Unplug that. And get this just slapdash connected. And that's connected. We need a SATA power. We'll unplug our floppy drive for now. Now, can we install to this? That would be nice. Oh, it actually shows up. That's nice. The other one didn't show up. Maybe the other one is bad. Okay. So, I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but when you're dealing with hard drives, physically larger hard drives, like 1 terabyte versus 500 gigs, the physically larger hard drives are actually faster. Now, the reason for that is, let me grab a CD to demonstrate. Let's pretend you are here. CD spins 1/4 of a revolution, and you've written, if it's a 100 megabyte track, you've written, 25 megabytes. If it's a physically larger track for a larger hard drive, in that same revolution, if it's a 200 megabyte track, you've written 50 megabytes. Same goes for read speeds. It's just faster. So if this works, we're sticking with this and ditching the IDE. I could have grabbed an SSD, but I gotta be honest, kind of buried. So, will we see this drive? Survey says... Survey's taken a damn long time. Examining 1 terabyte drive. Okay. I think that means it worked. There's probably something weird installed on that drive. And it's probably trying to figure out XP Professional. Huh. What did we use this in? Don't repair. We're going to... Now, XP is not super portable. It does not like to go from device to device, so we are going to delete this partition and start over. However, the fact that we can use this is huge. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of this 250 gig drive that might be dead unexpectedly, while also expectedly. We're going to install this in its spot, and then I actually will see you on the desktop. I think we can go ahead and reattach our IDE DVD drive, not because I have some great need to use the IDE DVD drive. I might actually steal it for something else later, but I don't have anything else to plug the IDE into, so might as well. Now let's get our SATA plugged in. There's power. And here is our data. And at this point, we should be good to button this thing up. Let's tuck this back in its spot. SATA cables get in the way of closing this. Of course they do. There's that. You know what they also get in the way of? Everything. Okay. There we go. Now, I shouldn't have to open this again. So we actually are going to go ahead and just get that buttoned up. Now, oops. I'm going to go ahead and move some of these extra hard drives off this table now. And let's see what we can do with this machine. Well, no sound, but maybe that's something we can fix. So let's go ahead and get our flash drive connected up there. Now on this drive I've got my fancy stuff. Oh yeah, that's right, let's get our install DVD back out of here. That doesn't need to live in there for me to forget. So let's go ahead and run Snappy Driver Installer. I've done this 1,000 times, but people keep asking me. So, this is how I get most of my drivers for Windows XP. Now let's see. Radeon X300, that sounds about right. In this case, we're just going to select all. I don't know what the heck this secondary thing is, so we're just going to leave that alone. I've never heard of needing a secondary graphics card driver. And, okay, we have an Intel 915G chipset that is not actually all that early. What is this PC? Why does it use DDR? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get these installed. Now this will take a little while, and once they're installed, I'm going to go ahead and copy a bunch of games over, and then we can test this machine out and see what it can do. Okay. Was not expecting to be doing this right now. Hello, it's a new day. I was working pretty late last night. Worked until about, 3:30, I want to say. It is a beautiful day outside, so I've got the door open and might throw off the white balance a little bit. Sorry. But it is Sunday, just passed by the post office, and I figured, well, I know they're closed, but the lobby's open. I might as well check my P.O. box on the off chance that the package I was waiting for was put in a storage locker and not behind the desk. And guess what was in a storage locker, not behind the desk? So we actually got our package that we missed yesterday. Additionally, one of you got me. This is from Gamer Subs, and I'm like, Gamer Subs? I never ordered anything from them. And then I remembered they like to sponsor small YouTube channels. So I'm like, no way. No way indeed. I'm not getting sponsored. Somebody bought the sampler and sent it my way. Gamer Subs is the funniest stuff. Holy crap. I mean, this one's called Blowhole Blast, and it's got a image of a big titty anime girl on the front. That is the funniest stuff. You got me. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out what's in these boxes, because it is huge and will enable us to do something very special at the end of this video. Let's get you in closer. Okay, I need something to open these with. Flathead screwdriver ought to do it. Want to be careful not to accidentally dox the person who sent these. They are a Patreon member. So let's see what's in box number 1. Very, very good shipping material, by the way. I think that's that. We'll toss the box to the side. Tossing the box to the side took out my light box. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so I think I know it. What the heck? What the heck is this? I see a Pentium 4. And that's a Xeon, I think. No, it's an i7 920. Socket 1366. I'm used to 1366 Xeons. I'm not used to actually having a normal I-series. Hey, this is awesome. We've got some DDR3 that's 2 gigs. I can use that. 1 gig's harder to use, but I can still use it. Do we have any DDR2 in here? That's more 2 gig DDR3. I think this is DDR2. Yes, it is 1 gig. Hey! And that looks like DDR. 256 meg DDR333. Thank you very much. Those will be put to very good use once I set them aside. Is this a Pentium 4 or is it a... Yes, it is Pentium 4, 2.8 gigahertz, 512 megabytes cache, 800 megahertz front side bus. That's technically compatible with this, but oof, we're going to have to straighten some pins. No big deal, it's a Pentium 4. What do we have in here? This is heavy, actually, this packing material. I'm going to keep that. I don't have any scissors out here. Jesus. World's toughest tape. Okay, that is what I was looking for. So, what we have here, I'm not going to take them out yet. We've got 2 sticks of DDR5 of unknown capacity, does not necessarily matter. And we have a Ryzen 5 7600X. The reason that these are important is the person who sent this is letting me borrow these to test that motherboard that we're going to give to that kid. So this is huge. That means we can test it at the end of this video. We set those somewhere where they won't fall. Now I don't know what's in this box. Huh. I already wasn't expecting that extra RAM for the Pentium 4. Let's, oh, what do we got? Dear Matt, sorry about the late shipping of the CPU and memory. Not a problem. I mean, we're not going to give him this PC until Christmas anyway. We've got several months. Got caught up in pre-op preparation and then surgery and then recovery. Hope you're doing good. Not sure what you went through, but I do hope you're doing good. I have included a padded envelope of the CPU and memory, plus a bag of mixed RAM modules, and in a separate box, a motherboard. Oh. Specifically, Intel Sandy Bridge i5-2320 and 12 gigs of RAM, with the rear cover that I feel you can use for your donation PCs. Absolutely. If you choose to do a shout-out, do so for my YouTube channel, which I absolutely will. D-Covert Computers Official. I will link that down in the description below. Let's see. Awesome. I appreciate that so much. Let's have a look at this. Actually, how far did this get? Do I have to start the next one? I do have to start the next one. Next installer started. Let's have a look at this motherboard. Okay. Toss this aside without turning off my light box. Very good packaging. I usually like to see anti-static bags, but it is what it is. This is a donation PC. After all, it's probably fine. Having stuff die just because it's wrapped up in bubble wrap is very rare. It does happen, but it's very rare. Let's see. I saw this cooler here, and I thought this was going to be like an HP. But no, this is an Asus cooler? What the heck? Don't think I've seen one like this before. And it's clean, too. I mean, other than the thermal paste, which we can just... That's some goopy goo. Okay. Thank you, man. Little bit of scunge on there. Let's get that off. Just because I happen to have it here. And there's our i5. Now, I think what we'll do... He's got 3 sticks of RAM in here. So they're probably 4 gig sticks if he's got 12 total. So what we're going to do is we'll probably add another 4 gig stick to get it up to 16 and just donate this system basically as is. We'll throw in a hard drive, whatnot. And this will be a very, very good system to donate to someone who's just going through school and needs something for Facebook and office work. Thank you very much, man. That is wicked cool. And now, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the software installation, and I will see you when we're ready to test. Probably without the door open. Yeah. And here we are, finally, at the desktop. I did actually try to get my capture setup working, but unfortunately, it is still not playing nice. So once again, we don't really have much of a choice but to just point the camera at the screen, which does kind of suck, but I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, I need to get something new. In the meantime, I guess I'll just leave this connected. I don't really have a reason to disconnect it yet. I'm not sure how we're going to fare. We have an ATI X300, which not exactly a high-performance card, and there is the problem that we're on DDR1. So, although I'm sure we'll have no problems running games such as Unreal Tournament 2004, I am curious about Flatout 2 and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Only one way to find out, though. Let's see what it can do. Well, it is not happy with Battle Engine Aquila, I'll tell you that. I honestly think it's probably just a driver issue. One thing of note when using old cards like this is you don't always want to use the latest driver. Oftentimes, the last handful of drivers that NVIDIA or ATI, AMD, whatever, release are usually just kind of carrying forward old support. They're not actually making sure things haven't completely broken. So I think that if we picked an older driver, this would actually work just fine. But we didn't, and I'm not changing it. So we've got plenty of other games to compare performance on. And for the first time in my life, I fired up Morrowind. I had a friend here watching me attempt, and he said that any Morrowind players in the comments are going to be cringing. Let's see if that's true. So, hey, not bad at all. I mean, I am very surprised at, number one, the weirdness of this PC. Number two, the relatively good condition of this PC. I mean, there's no bad capacitors, and it just fired up and ran. If we hadn't cleaned it, it probably still would have just fired up and ran, but I have so much dust everywhere now. I have got to do something about this. But that is not the end of the video. Let's test out that motherboard. Okay, this is that B650 board that I mentioned in one of my previous videos where we got it. This is hopefully going to be a working motherboard, and we can donate this to that kid that I've been talking about. So let's go ahead and... I've never actually seen an AM5 motherboard in person. This is cool. So there's our Ryzen 5. Get our RAM in here. Now, I want to be extra careful with this because these do not belong to me. Now, I don't actually have a super handy CPU cooler, so just to see if it'll post, we have this old AM1 CPU cooler that we're just going to stick on there. There's our CPU fan. Good enough. I don't know much about this card, but we're going to see if it functions. And of course, this random ATX power supply. Actually, no, let's not use this one. Let's use this one. Let's use this one, which actually has an 8-pin. So, 24-pin, connected. Ooh, this board has an 8-pin and an extra 4-pin. We're going to ignore that extra 4-pin because we do not need it. We just want to see if it functions. Get our VGA connected here. Get our power. Let's back off the camera so you can see the screen. And let's see if this works. Where is the front panel connector? I don't actually know if this card works. So that's the first thing that we're going to change. Just pop that out of there. This is an old 4670. Nice card. I know that it works. So, let's see if we can get a screen. That light's still on, the DRAM light. The person who sent this motherboard did not test it before sending it. And that's okay. I think they got this board out of a recycled PC. So, let's try something else. That's the entire reason why I borrowed this RAM and CPU instead of buying my own, because I didn't know if this board worked. We still have a DRAM light. Okay, we want to start with A2 first. That's what I thought. This board may not work. Huh. Well, that's a shame. What is this RAM? 16 gig sticks of DDR5 5600. That should be more than supported on this system. Is this one of those weird motherboards that takes a very long time to post? Let me look it up. B650 Aorus Elite AX. Huh. Apparently this is a known issue with this motherboard. Oh dear. So what sometimes helps is just reseating the CPU. CPU looks nice and clean. I don't see any damage. The socket looks good. Looks very good, actually. Try it again. We'll put both sticks back in. I do not think the sticks are bad. I think it's just this untested system having an issue. One more try. That DRAM light is still on. Apparently the B650 Aorus Elite AX is just a bad motherboard. Oh dear. One of the most returned AM5 motherboards in the world, with several Reddit threads dedicated to, hey, I have this exact issue where the DRAM light stays on, and you get no screen. So, there are two things I can do. I can try the Gigabyte Q-Flash thing, which is very poorly documented, but I think that this motherboard having come from a recycled PC might just be bad. So, it was worth a shot, but unfortunately that is the failure that we are going to have to end the video on. And as unfortunate as that is, these things happen, especially when you're dealing with used hardware like I am. So, it was worth a shot. Thank you very much for watching. At least we got the IBM to work correctly. And maybe, just maybe, that Q-Flash method will work with this system. I'll try that on my own time, though. We're not going to waste time on it today. And slowly, we will be rebuilding our PC wall with the PCs from VCF as we fix them. So if you enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated. If you want to see more things like this, please feel free to subscribe. And you can find all sorts of behind-the-scenes content at my Patreon, linked in the description below. If you'd like to send in something to help with the kids' PC, or just for us to look at, my P.O. box is also listed in the description below. Thank you very much. That is such a shame.